The song keeps playing, guys. 5 in a row for the Philadelphia 76ers. A dominating win against the Golden State Warriors tonight. First 5-game win streak on the year. I'm Coy Camiscioli from Philly Sports Talk. Going to break down the game for you. Late night Sixers mode again. Second night in a row. 3 more games to go on this road stand. And it has been an excellent start to start 2-0 for the 76ers. So, before I get into the game, I just want to say, if I sound a little off, I'm a little congested, ignore that. Let's talk basketball because this game was just so awesome to watch. And I have never been so stoked about the Sixers than right now. They have responded to the Paul George suspension in a great way. The young guys are stepping up big time for the Sixers, and this was just a great all-around team game. And I'll get into why and what worked for the Sixers overall tonight. So, I want to start off, no Embiid, second half of a back-to-back as expected, and surprisingly enough, at least to me, Andre Drummond got the start tonight, he's had a little bit of a roller coaster season. So earlier on in the year when Embiid was not playing, he was starting over Bona, getting more minutes, and now as of late, Bona's been the one getting all the minutes, and I talked about that on my podcast a couple times here and there, uploaded on TikTok too, discussing that, and he gets a start tonight, so I was kind of surprised, but I was okay with it. Not a problem with me. As for the Warriors, no Steph Curry, Jonathan Kuminga in this game, and obviously Jimmy Butler too, who's out with the ACL tear. And it was clear right away what the Warriors were trying to do in this game. They were doubling Maxey from the start. They were running a zone defense. It was just clear that with Joel Embiid out, they were trying to eliminate Maxey and make someone else beat them, which is not a bad idea, but it just did not work tonight. The Sixers as a team did very well. The Warriors just live and die by the 3 ball, and especially in that fourth quarter, it was honestly kind of tough to watch. Like, if I was a Warriors fan and I just continuing to huck up threes at the rate that they did, I would be livid because it was an ugly fourth quarter for the Warriors. They shot the 3 ball well in that first quarter, and they actually led at the end of the first quarter by a point, but just after that, it was kind of bad. So, I mean, they ended up shooting 40% from three, so I can't get on them that much. But I believe they knocked down 7 threes in the first quarter. So it slowed down heavily after that first quarter. So yes, they shot 40% from three, but it's a little inflated when you think about how cold they got the rest of the game from beyond the arc. And it was bad late. Like, they just were really living and dying on it. And that's not what I'm a fan of. I like to, switch it up. If something's not working, you got to switch things up. But I'm not complaining. I don't care about the Warriors. So that first quarter, we got off to a hot start. We started 16-9, forcing a timeout. And then the Warriors started hit their threes, so we were trailing at the end of the first. That second quarter, though, we went on a run, and we never really looked back. We went on a 26-6 run to start that quarter. Dem Bona had a couple big-time plays, a huge alley-oop, and an insane putback poster dunk. I tweeted on my Twitter just like how his athleticism doesn't get enough praise sometimes, and he's looking better and better. It looks like he's progressing throughout the year, so I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Bona. The Warriors did tie with a minute left. We went like the whole second half of the second quarter without a field goal. That was a slow stretch, but we're up by 3 at the half, and the second half was all Sixers. Great start to the quarter. We go up 67-55, forcing a timeout, and we ended up leading the quarter 84-71 at the end of that third. It's the second time in 9 games the Sixers have won the third quarter, and just give their props in the second half of a back-to-back on the West Coast trip for executing it in this one. So going to that fourth quarter, I wrote down Warriors living and dying by the 3 ball, and it just wasn't working. Meanwhile, the Sixers are having energetic plays on both sides right now of the ball. Kelly Oubre, Trendon Watford, and Dem Bona, all big energy plays early on in this quarter. And we go on another great run. We go up 100-82, and we force another timeout. That was that. VJ Edgecombe, a couple really nice finishes, a couple really nice shots in this one. He ended up getting a really nice bucket off Buddy Hield and got in his face a bit. But they're good friends, both from Hawaii, and Buddy Hield and him have a great relationship. So more like a friendly fire competition, but it's still cool to see from Edgecombe. Overall, I was very pleased with this game for the Sixers. There's honestly not much to say. I'll get into the individual performances in a second. The only other note I had on this game was Nick Nurse hasn't been playing around with calling timeout lately, which I think is a good thing. I mentioned at the end of the Knicks game a week or two ago how he just let these runs go on, and it's just like, man, you got to call timeout. The team is struggling. And even after the slightest of momentum switches in this game, even in the fourth quarter with the Warriors maybe knocking down 1 3-pointer after struggling for a while, he called timeout. I liked it. So I like it when we're playing like this. I think it's a good adjustment. So my props to Nick Nurse for that. So getting to the individual performances, adding on to what I said about the Warriors' choice to double Maxey and the zone defense, it really gave Maxey no looks from beyond the arc. Just 5 attempted 3-pointers for Tyrese Maxey tonight, which is low, and just 14 points in general for him. He was 3-9 from the field. But that's not a bad thing because the team was so focused on Tyrese Maxey that the other guys ate for the Sixers. We had 5, 6, 7. We had 8 players in double digits tonight for the Sixers, and that's just impeccable. So I'm going to get into all that. So Maxey, 14 points, 3-9 from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple steals to go along with it for him. VJ Edgecombe led the team in scoring. Great night for him. 25 points, 11 of 20 from the field, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. So he stepped up big time with the Warriors doubling Tyrese Maxey. Shot efficiently as well. Had a couple really good finishes. A plus-minus of plus 27, which is a team high for the Sixers. The next highest was plus 14. So just a really great night from VJ Edgecombe. Other Sixers, Kelly Oubre, 15 points. He shot the 3-ball well, 4-10 from 3. Had 6 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with it. Andre Drummond had 12 points. He got 29 minutes. He was 5-11 from the field. He knocked down a 3. He also had 12 rebounds, 6 of them offensive rebounds. Great job by him. 1 steal, 1 block. Dominic Barlow, he also had 6 offensive rebounds. So if you watched the game last night or just listened to my podcast, you know that was just continuing over from the previous night. So great job for Dominic Barlow. The ball is just finding him. It really is. He also had 10 points, 6 rebounds. Only 22 minutes, which I was kind of surprised at with how good he played last night, but he did very well in those 22 minutes. So great job for the whole starting lineup. And offensive rebounds galore, guys. 25 offensive rebounds for the Sixers in this one. And that is not a normal Sixer thing. And you go up and down the line, 6 apiece for Barlow and Drummond, which I talked about, 2 for Kelly Oubre, 3 for VJ Edgecombe, 2 for Trendon Watford, 4 for Dembona, 2 for Quentin Grimes. That's what you want to see, crashing the glass with purpose. They did it on both sides effectively tonight, and they did it last night too. So I am very happy. That was one of this team's biggest weaknesses so far this year, and they're doing a great job of it right now. So off the bench, Trendon Watford, he got 27 minutes, and he deserved every bit of it. 16 points for him, 7 of 13 from the field, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Great job, Trendon Watford. I'm so glad to see him playing well again. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I know I don't have... There's new listeners here and there for every episode, not always repetitive listeners, but before the Paul George suspension, I was talking about how these guys who aren't playing at the moment were usually playing like every day, getting starts with when all these guys were hurt, and our injury report was 5 players long at the beginning of the season, and then they just stopped playing because of how deep this team is. And here they are stepping up. Trendon Watford, my hat's off to you, man. Great job tonight. Dembona, 16 minutes off the bench, 11 points, 5 of 6 from the field, 7 rebounds. I already mentioned the 4 offensive rebounds. He had a couple very good energetic plays on offense per usual. Great job for him. Quentin Grimes, 10 points. He shot 4-9 from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. It was a good night from him. Jared McCain, not too much in this one, not too many minutes either, just 8 minutes, no points. He was over 2 from the field. Had a couple assists, but nothing too crazy. And then Justin Edwards, Janai Broom, and Jabari Walker all got in for the final 2 minutes, but nothing there for them. So just a great night for the Sixers, guys. I'm really happy about this win. The team looked great. They looked in sync. Again, they're crashing the glass with a purpose. And without Joel Embiid, they came to play. Seriously. And as for the Warriors, nothing serious to note. But you look at the box score, 11 players logging significant minutes for them, which is kind of crazy. You usually don't see that. And 13 players checking in at some point in this game. Two players getting in for garbage time. But I thought that was interesting. So that's all I got on this game. I want to talk about one other thing real fast. I'm just going to breeze over it. I just saw it. So as by now, you guys know about the James Harden trade. And there's been a lot of big-time trades. I'm looking to make a NBA trade deadline recap podcast within the week after the deadline is up. But with the James Harden trade, the draft picks that we got from the Clippers when we traded Harden to LA, looking pretty good right now. A 2028 unprotected first round pick and the 2029 first round pick swap. So we still own those Clippers picks. I just want to mention that. I saw that on Twitter. So that could be big. Those are two really valuable picks at this point. Looking forward for the Sixers with the rest of this West Coast trip. So that was a little tongue twister. Got the Lakers on Thursday, the Suns on Saturday, and we round out with the Blazers on Monday before we return home to finish out before the All-Star break against the Knicks at home on Wednesday. So, guys, let's get a couple more wins. It's looking great. 5 wins in a row. NBA standings update. The Sixers still hold the 6th seed, but we are climbing, boys. We are really close. We're just a half game back of the Raptors and Cavaliers, who are tied for the 4th seed. And we're 3 games back of the Knicks and Celtics, who are tied for the number 2 seed. 8.5 back of the Pistons. Not really looking at that right now. We are now 3 games up on the top seed in the play-in. So we're finally distancing ourselves from the play-in a little bit. 3 games up on the Heat for that first seed in the play-in. And we're 6.5 up on the Hornets, who are the first team out of the playoffs. So great job by the Sixers. The only bad news really is that the entire top part of the Eastern Conference has won at least 1 game in a row. Cavs and Raptors have won their most recent games. Celtics are on a 3-game win streak. Knicks are on a 7-game win streak, and the Pistons are on a 3-game win streak. So you can only imagine where we would be if a couple of those teams were struggling. But you can't look at it like that. We got the win. We're doing our part. So other news around the league: Pistons edged one out over the Nuggets, and they've just continued to roll. But nothing too crazy there. The Knicks, they blew out the Wizards. They continue to roll. Hawks, they beat the Heat. This is really a play-in matchup. The Celtics, they took down the Mavericks. They're looking good. Bucks beat the Bulls, and the Thunder blew out the Magic. Nothing too crazy. Then a couple Western Conference games. But, guys, that's going to do it. Let me get the song back up. Got to play it for the outro. All right, guys. I'll be back Thursday to recap the Sixers game. Hopefully a win. Hopefully a 6th straight win against the Lakers as they continue to roll. By the way, a couple of days ago, after the Bucks win, I went out on a limb saying this is going to be the start of something special. Maybe nothing crazy, but just like 14 wins out of the next 20 games or so. 5 in a row. So 5 in a row. So 4-0 after that, but 5 in a row, including that span, is what I didn't want to include that game. So having a great night, guys. Sixers continue to roll. I'll see you Thursday.